I hate having to make these videos. I never like telling people that Teslas are getting more expensive because that goal of making EVs more and more obtainable and more approachable gets pushed back just a little bit further. So yes, the Plaid Plus Model S has technically had its delivery date significantly pushed back, which is not good, but let's talk about the Model 3 and Y first, which is primarily the Standard Range Plus and the Long Range Model 3. Both got $500 price increases, which isn't terrible, but noticeable. And then also the long-range all-wheel drive Model Y got an increased price of $1,000. So it really bums me out to think that like just a month ago, the starting price of the Model Y was like $40,000 and now the starting price is $50,000. So that goes to show you how unpredictable Tesla is with their pricing and stuff like that. So I'm very bummed to see those prices go back up because obviously I want them to keep going down, but still $50,000 for all the great features the Model Y has. It's not overpriced in my opinion. It's just obviously would be a lot nicer if it wasn't that expensive. And the craziest price jump that makes for really, really good headlines because people get to say Tesla vehicles going up by $10,000? Yeah, $10,000 up on a $140,000 vehicle. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not really that big a price jump. But yeah, Plaid Plus Model S is now listed at $150,000, not $140,000. I'm very curious why in particular they decided this vehicle should be more expensive. I'm guessing it has to do with too many people reserving the Plaid Plus and waiting for that variant instead of opting for the normal Plaid Model S with the range of 390, but still the great 0 to 60 times and all that. Maybe they're hoping that if there's like a $30,000 price jump between these two variants, people will feel more inclined to just order a Model S now without the 4680 batteries. I have to imagine the profit margin on the $140,000 Plaid Plus Model S was probably pretty thick anyway, and we're not really that close to deliveries, so changing the price now does seem more about vehicles that are out than vehicles that aren't. But that, of course, brings us to the most interesting decision Tesla has made that has a lot of people perplexed about what their plans are for the 4680 battery, which is the estimated delivery date for the Plaid Plus Model S is now listed at mid-2022. So I was really sad when I first saw this, but then the more I thought about it, the more I realized there could be some pessimistic or optimistic ways of looking at it. So let's just get the pessimistic viewpoint out of the way because that's most likely what's actually happening. But it is entirely possible that through the mass production of the 4680 cells at Cato Road, they're running into some issues and it's going to be a lot harder to mass produce these cells than they initially thought. They're running into bumps in the road, quite literally, and realizing that there might be some quality control issues with the batteries or the yields on the batteries are not high enough, and because of that, they're willing to give themselves an extra 6 to 7 months worth of time to iron out these kinks, and hopefully the 4680s will be ready by that time. But it definitely didn't appear that way on the latest earnings call, which I guess it's an earnings call. You probably don't want to announce that you're running into issues with the 4680s while your investors are all listening in on the phone call, but it's also possible this could be more of a demand issue, and perhaps there's so many people ordering the Plaid Plus Model S that the amount they can build by the end of 2021 has kind of already been reserved and filled up. And as of right now, there have been a few people like Sawyer Merritt on Twitter that are reaching out to Plaid Plus reservation holders, seeing what they see, and right now they don't have a delivery date listed in their order page, which means that it's possible that everyone who has already ordered a Plaid Plus will be getting it this year still. It's just all new orders will not get it until mid-2022, possibly because they can't produce enough 4680s, and Tesla themselves has even confirmed that the Model Ys coming out of Giga Berlin are going to be using 4680 cells that will be shipped over from the Cato Road facility. That's not speculation, that's something Tesla has legit told us. So that means there's at least going to be a huge number of 4680 cells going over to Europe so that they can mass produce them out of that Germany plant once they are operational this summer. That facility is coming along great. There have been a lot of permits and setbacks, but for the most part, it seems like the facility is going to be ready to start churning out Model Ys this year. And if they plan on churning out a lot of Model Ys there, that means that they're going to need a lot of 4680 cells. So maybe Tesla realized that at the Cato Road facility, hey, we're going to be needing to produce a certain amount of batteries, and I don't know if we're going to have enough for the Plaid Plus Model S to come out this year, and also have the launch of the Made in Germany Model Y Y. So maybe that's why they decided to push back this to late. And given how many vehicles it puts on the road and the fact that this is a brand new factory, bringing Model Ys to this demographic with up-to-date range, improved manufacturing capability, and way better paint, maybe it makes sense to prioritize the German-made Model Ys instead of prioritizing just a super-duper high-trim variant of the Model S in the US, especially when we're supposed to be getting Plaid Model S and X deliveries within the next month or so, and the only real noticeable difference between Plaid Model S and Plaid Plus Model S is just that insane range. Yeah, there's some extra horsepower and it's going to be a bit faster in the quarter-mile times, but I think getting more vehicles that more people are going to end up buying on the road should probably take priority over the extreme performance junkies of the earth. That could be one of the theories. One other suggestion I've seen brought around is that perhaps Tesla wants to prioritize mass production of the Tesla Semi. So instead of diverting a bunch of 4680 cells to the $140,000 Plaid Plus Model S, now $150,000, they will instead be diverting these 4680 batteries coming out of Cato Road into the first wave of Tesla Semi deliveries, which Tesla has also said they plan on using those semi trucks themselves for moving around equipment between Giga Nevada and Fremont and delivering vehicles to different showrooms. Maybe they want to take priority with the semi truck first instead of that high-priced Dream Model S vehicle, because they know it's really just going to be good at flexing, whereas they've had so many people on the reservation list for the Tesla Semi ever since 2017, and they're still waiting on their orders, and Elon has said that the Semi definitely needs the 4680 cells to work. So perhaps that's where their focus is being prioritized, though the reason I have a hard time believing that report is because the semi truck is going to use way more batteries than the Plaid Plus Model S, so if they wanted a thicker profit margin, I bet the Plaid Plus Model S would be a way of securing revenue a lot better than the Tesla Semi, which is going to require either a 500 kilowatt hour battery pack for around the same price as Tesla said the base price for the Semi would be $150,000, or perhaps they want to start with the long range Semi, which is supposed to be closer to $200,000, but that would of course require a much larger battery pack, probably closer to 800 or 900 kilowatt hours. So as much as I'm in love with the Tesla Semi and I want it to come out as soon as possible, I feel like that theory doesn't hold too much weight. I'm also really hoping we can hear about some mega chargers going up any day now, but my guess is that they are not going to produce the Semi until they are producing the 4680 cells out of Giga Nevada, which Panasonic said to expect the pilot line to start up around April, so maybe mass production begins in around May or June. But ultimately, I do think it would be the right call to prioritize the German-made Model Ys out of that factory. I mean, you can only imagine how excited the German Tesla plant is to get vehicles pumping out of their factory. They've spent all this time working on the up-to-date paint shop, all this time working on the new manufacturing techniques, the structural battery pack. They get everything all built up and ready there, but then as soon as they're ready to mass produce vehicles, Fremont is like, hold on a second, we need those batteries for the Plaid Plus Model S. So you guys are gonna have to really slow down on production because we gotta pump out some of these 500-mile Model S's out of the Fremont factory. So I could totally get why Germany has to come first. They have to be the priority, and Plaid Plus Model S is going to be quite a low-volume vehicle in the first place, especially at this new up-to-date $150,000 price. So my hope is, of course, that they can divert attention from the Cato Road facility to both a little bit. Like, even if the number of Plaid Pluses delivered in 2021 is fairly low, for the sake of headlines and for the sake of, you know, YouTube videos like this one, we get to say deliveries have started, even if you deliver like 10 of them within the end of this year. It may not be a lot, and Tesla can even disclose like, hey, this is going to be a low volume vehicle, deliveries are going to be limited. As long as a few YouTubers get their hand on one, I feel like it gets to technically be counted as out, and then you can still divert the majority of the batteries to Germany. That way they can officially say, yes, the German factory is operational, it is churning out Model Ys, they have great range. I can't wait to find out what the range on those up-to-date Model Ys are going to be once they finally get these new batteries in them. But yeah, at the end of the day, it always sucks to see price increases, and it always sucks to see deadlines pushed so incredibly far. I'm really hoping it's not an issue with 4680 mass production, and it's not just, oh, we don't know how to get this out by the end of the year, so we're going to push back deliveries another 6 months. That would really suck, because honestly, most of us already thought the 2021 Plaid Model S with a 500-mile range was probably going to come out sooner, and we were hoping Elon was sandbagging a bit. Sounds like he was sandbagging the powertrain, but not the batteries, if this ends up being the case, and they actually can't deliver any Plaid Plus until summer of next year. That's over a year from now. Oh my god, that would make me so sad. So let me know which theory makes the most most amount of sense to you guys down below. I'm doing my best to stay optimistic, but also trying to be realistic at the same time. So thank you all for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.